Hi, Apoorva. First of all, congratulations for securing All India Rank 15 in CLAT PG 2020 examination. And thank you for sparing your time and sparing your time for giving your valuable feedback and sharing your thoughts on how to prepare for the examination. This video will be this interview will be very helpful for all the upcoming law aspirants who will be writing this paper in the near future. There are certain set of common questions I will be putting forward and then you can address the same. First of all, how do you feel after securing All India rank 15?
Thank you for having me on this platform to share my views. And I feel great. I was expecting a very low rank, ranging from 50 to 100. But when the results came, it was very enlightening as I scored AI 15. So it's a very great feeling. And thank you.
Great. So what was your secret mantra of success?
As such, there was no secret mantra of success, but there were some strategies which I followed, copying from the toppers of IS. So I'll share that. Starting from the acronyms of A to E, I'll first share that a person should be accustomed to the judgments and the syllabus which has been asked in the CLAT. Because since the pattern has changed after January, so they have released a guide, a PG guide, which is written, and my juniors are going to write this exam. They'll be having a pattern of objective plus subjective. We were fortunate or maybe unfortunate enough that we didn't have the subjective pattern, but they'll be writing a 50-mark subjective essay. So it's incumbent upon them to first clearly jot down the clear points and the subjects which need a major focus on. Second is starting with the basics. Basics are very important. Basics just not in the sense that having a rough idea about the MCQs which are asked in BHU or IELTS exams, but basics means have a clear idea about torts contracts. Because what happened this year that when we were lucky enough that we prepared for CLAT according to the syllabus of past years from January to March. But what happened when the sample paper came, it took a 360-degree change, and then we were to study all the judgments. So many students who have started off late, what they read only judgments, and when the actual paper came, as we all know that there were a lot of jurisprudential questions and questions on labor law which we weren't expecting, as we were expecting questions from judgments and excerpts of judgments, or maybe some jurisprudence questions. But as CLAT is becoming unpredictable from day by day, so it's incumbent upon us to be very thorough with the basics plus the current affairs. Now C is consistency. Consistency not only in the manner of studying daily or having a fixed timetable, but consistency here means that daily following the current affairs. For example, I will suggest students according to subjective portions also, because I started my preparation from January 2020. So from January to June, there was 2 essays which needed to be written and practiced thoroughly, because a lot was dependent upon the subjective portion. So what happened when the sample paper came, then we were expecting that the subjective portion will be also in relation to the judgments we are reading, or not very far-fetched topics. But one of the when the sample paper came, one of the questions was regarding manifest arbitrariness. So we were shocked that how can they asked a manifest arbitrariness from a case like RC Cooper or something. But then if we go when if we deeply analyze it, it was basically asked from the triple talaq judgment, because Justice Nariman has thoroughly mentioned about the manifest arbitrariness. So my juniors are going to write this exam. It is very important for them to side by side preparing for judgment, reading for judgment. They should also jot down important points which are daily happening in our current lives. Then D is for devotion. This from past years, as we can see that people who are preparing for judiciary, for BHU, for IELTS, they all have the same syllabus, consistent with the CLAT. But this time the CLAT was basically changed, because people who study for judiciary, they afterwards join judiciary, and they don't basically not focus on the CLAT. This was said by Faizan Mustafa sir in one of his videos. So my main advice would be that any student who is specifically preparing for CLAT, who wants to get admission to one of the top NLUs, he should first set up his priorities at what NLU does he want. In fact, does he want to go for IELTS or does he want to go for CLAT or BHU, because the syllabus is not common this time. So, and E is for enthusiasm. Enthusiasm means here that if we read any topic, for example, nowadays Riya Chakrabarti case is going on. So it's not, so we should not study or read it like a normal person would do. We would, for example, if Riya case is going on, then it's incumbent upon us to read NDPS case, to read NDPS Act, to read Mental Health Care Act, because Sushant's case was related with that. So these things will help in the subjective plus the objective part. And this was my main strategy throughout.
Great. So what were the major study material or books you followed while preparing for the examination?
Ma'am, per se, this time as judgments were there, so there were no particular books. But if you ask for basics, then basics, my class notes were sufficient from the past years. And for TOTS, we have R.K. Bhangia. For Consti, V.N. Shukla. I think every law student has the same books, ranging from 1 or 2 J.N. Pandra, something like that. So books were the basic books, or A.K. Jain books. So not much on books.
Okay. So what were the major law subjects you focused upon while preparing for the examination? What was your priority list basically?
Okay. First, I would say that when if we go by the April after the sample paper preparation, so I was mainly focusing on consti cases. I thought that consti would be forming a major portion, because in past years, what happened in 2019 or 18, we see a major portion was asked from constitutional law questions. So we were expecting that 40% or 50% questions are going to be from constitution. But I realized after some time that other subjects need much focus more. For example, labor law cases, environment cases, contract cases. Now, suppose there is no recent judgment which has come on contracts, but we are supposed to find a link on what is currently going on. For example, if force majeure and contra preferentum things are going on related to contract in company law, and also, so we are bound to study the cases which are related to that. For example, for frustration of contract, we should read Satyabrata case, even if they haven't asked this year, but COVID is a long process, so I think they'll ask it in a longer run. So this was my.
Great. So how much time did you dedicate it for your preparation for the examination? Exact time, months, days, or your normal reading hours in a day?
I started my preparation seriously from January, but since the shift was there, so after April, I was reading only cases and solving one essay daily. So my advice to the students, is my voice clear?
Yes,
No,
it's
it's showing unstable internet. Okay. So what happened that I regularly
yes.
used to write one essay.
Apoorva, I'm audible.
Okay, so I started my preparation from January, and after the change in syllabus, I started it from 15th April. Since it was a 360-degree change from which I was studying in the past months, so my strategy was first to study the syllabus and to study the sample paper, because it wasn't expected. We were expecting questions from the judgments, but the type of questions they have asked, we weren't expecting like IBC questions on IBC or arbitration or reading comprehensions like jurisprudence. So my strategy shifted a bit. In spite of focusing only on constitutional law cases, I focused more on family law cases, labor law cases, international law cases, like there were Enrica and other cases. So the advice would be that the students who are going to prepare for 2021, they should not limit themselves to the constitutional law cases, because this time what happened, many people weren't expecting questions from labor law or international law. But as CLAT has already mentioned, the 13 subjects, they can ask from anything regarding that subject.
Great. So last question for you. How did Lex Templum contributed in your journey of being a student and then securing an all India rank in the CLAT PG examination?
Okay. The first time I saw, as the pattern has changed because the CLAT judgment questions are being asked, so there were no previous questions which were available for practice. And as practice is very important for any competitive exam, the first time sample papers came, which were free of cost, the 5 sample papers which I saw, I was really feeling great that there were at least some questions which I can solve and have a look upon. And so that I got practice questions, and then there were mocks which helped me greatly in streamlining my preparation, in the sense I was reading the judgments wholly or not able to demarcate which topics or which cases are important. But then when I saw the questions, I came to realize that some cases need to be given a more focused approach on. Even if I'm reading a judgment, for example, I am reading Anuradha Bhasin case. Then if I'm seeing that in Anuradha Bhasin case, lots of cases are discussed. So what is important I need to see, then I streamline my preparation regarding seeing that modern dental case is important. So Lex Templum helped me greatly in streamlining my preparation.
Great. So, Apoorva, thank you so much for connecting with us and sharing your insights and valuable feedback with all the students. Plus, I congratulate you again on securing All India rank, like a very good All India rank in the examination. And thank you so much again.